The house that never let go. It was 3 a.m. The entire city was asleep. The streets were empty. There wasn't a sound outside, only that heavy silence that seems to swallow everything in the middle of the night. I was alone in my new house, new to me at least. The house itself was old, very old. Damp stains covered parts of the walls. The wooden floors creaked beneath every step, and there was a strange smell lingering in the air. Not bad, not good, just old. On my first day there, a neighbor had told me something. An elderly couple used to live here, husband and wife. They both died in this house. I laughed it off. The rent was cheap, the location was perfect, and I was at that age where you think you're tougher than anything. The first few weeks were normal, but there were little things that felt off. Every night before bed, I made sure the kitchen window was locked. Every morning, I'd find it slightly open. One night, I plugged my phone into the charger before going to sleep. The next morning, it was sitting on the other side of the room, unplugged. And then there was Bruno. My dog, Bruno, was always calm, quiet, rarely barked at anything, but sometimes in the middle of the night, he'd suddenly sit upright and stare into a corner. Just stare, for minutes at a time. I figured he was still adjusting to the new house. Then came the night that changed everything. It was November. The air had turned cold. I was asleep in my bedroom with Bruno lying beside me. Everything seemed normal. Around 3 a.m. I woke up suddenly. I don't know why. No dream, no noise. My eyes just opened. Then I heard it. Bang. A loud crash from downstairs. My heart nearly stopped. Bruno shot up instantly. The fur along his back stood straight up. He stared at the bedroom door and began growling. Low, slow, constant. I tried to calm myself. Old houses make noises. Something probably fell, but Bruno wouldn't stop. His growl only got louder. I got out of bed. The floor was freezing beneath my feet. I opened the bedroom door and stepped into the dark hallway. Slowly, I walked toward the staircase. The darkness downstairs looked even deeper. I reached for the light switch. Click. The downstairs lights came on, and the moment I looked down, I froze. There were footprints on the floor. Wet footprints. Fresh. Clear against the pale tile. They started near the front door, then continued toward the stairs. Toward me. I stared in disbelief. The front door was locked. The windows were closed. The back entrance was secured. So where had those footprints come from? I ran back into my bedroom, locked the door. My breathing was out of control. My hands were shaking. Bruno was still growling, but now he wasn't looking at the door. He was staring behind me, into the corner of the room. I didn't want to turn around, but I did. The corner was empty. Then my phone rang. I looked at the screen. Homeowners. That was the caller ID. The problem was, no contact in my phone was saved under that name. The phone kept ringing. Once, twice, 3 times. With trembling hands, I answered. I pressed the phone to my ear. At first, there was nothing, only the sound of breathing. Then a woman's voice spoke. Old, weak, distant, as if she were calling from somewhere very far away. Son, I couldn't speak. Son, you're sleeping in my bed. Every muscle in my body locked up. Then Bruno suddenly stopped growling. Completely, instantly, like someone had switched him off. I looked down. He wasn't beside me anymore. He was standing in that same corner, the empty corner. His eyes were fixed on the wall. He wasn't moving. He wasn't blinking, just staring. And from that corner, I heard breathing. Slow, quiet, right there in the room. I ran for the door, grabbed the handle, pulled. It wouldn't open. I pulled again. Then I felt it. Someone was holding the handle from the other side. I could feel the pressure. Another hand gripping it. Cold, tight, waiting. I let go immediately. Took a step back. The handle began turning on its own. Slowly, the door creaked open. The hallway outside was empty. Nothing there. Only darkness. But at the far end of the corridor, I saw a figure. Faint, blurred. An elderly woman, bent forward, dressed in white, standing perfectly still, looking directly at me, and very slowly, she smiled. I ran. I grabbed Bruno and rushed downstairs, out the front door, into the street. I never looked toward the end of that hallway again. The next day, I asked my neighbor for more details about the elderly couple. This time, he told me everything. The old woman had died in the exact bedroom where I slept, in the exact bed I was using, and according to everyone who knew her, she loved that house more than anything. She used to say, "This house belongs to us. We'll never leave. I don't live there anymore, and Bruno is fine most of the time, but every now and then, late at night, when the house is silent, Bruno suddenly sits up. He stares into a corner, and from that corner, I hear breathing.